Hello everyone, if you are new, my name is Marin. Welcome to another reading vlog. This is going to be my Teacher on Thanksgiving break vlog. I have the entire week of Thanksgiving off, yay, for Thanksgiving break. So I'm going to try to get quite a lot of reading done this week. So I have a couple of books that I'm hoping I can finish during this week. I did start listening to the audio of The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. This is on my 23 and 2023 list. It is the last book from that list that I wanted to read in the month of November. It's quite lengthy, so hopefully I can get through it in this week because there is still another audiobook that I'm going to need to listen to before the month is over. So let's cross our fingers. But the one I'm going to start reading physically in this vlog is this one right here, which is Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. This is the Literally Dead book club pick for November, and I have worked out the math. So my goal for today is going to be to get to chapter 16, which is page 131. So read this chunk, and then I will hopefully finish it on Wednesday. So I've divided it into thirds because the second book that I want to read is the second book in the Shades of Magic trilogy by V.E. Schwab. That one is a little bit lengthier, so I'm going to give myself 4 days for that one. And those are the books that I'm hopefully going to get read physically in this vlog. And then for audio, hopefully I will finish The Forgotten Garden. So that's what's on the agenda. I did run a couple of errands today. I went to Michael's, as you saw, popped by Ulta because the lid on my eyeliner came off and it dried out, so I had to get a new one. And then I also popped by Target for like a couple things that I'd run out of. So I'm home now. It's going on 2 o'clock, so this will be what's on the agenda for the remainder of today. I did also pick up another 3-tier cart from Michael's because I am starting to put together my reading plans for next year, and one of the things I want to do is a These Books Will Self-Destruct project, so I need a place to house those books. And then I have a couple of other things in mind for next year as well. Obviously, I'm a bit of a planner, so I like to know what I'm going to be doing going into the new year. So I picked that card up just to help organize some things for next year. And then I also picked up a box for my Wheel of TBR prompts to go into. I was using like a clear pouch, but with the box I feel like that's a little bit better because I absolutely cannot see what I'm picking if I use the box. So that is all I've done. Now it's going to be time to eat a little bit of lunch because I have not eaten yet, and then read this. So once I have gotten to that 1/3 mark, I'm going to come back and give you a little update. I read 2 books by Ashley Winstead already this year. I read In My Dreams I Hold a Knife, which I gave 4 stars, and I did vlog. I'll link it. And then I also read The Last Housewife at the tail end of October, which I will also link above because I did vlog that one as well. So this will be the 3rd book by her that I am reading. It doesn't have the greatest rating on Goodreads, but I quite enjoyed The Last Housewife, which I feel like was a little bit more divisive. I gave that one 4 stars. In My Dreams I Hold a Knife I also gave 4 stars, so perhaps this one will be another 4-star, or maybe even higher. I don't know. I haven't found a 5-star from her yet. So I have only read her thrillers. I have not read her romance. I think she's got like 2 out. Haven't read those. But I am looking forward to this one. Hopefully I will enjoy it, and I will come back and share my thoughts on the first third of the book when I get to that point. So I will see you in a bit. Hey y'all, it's like 6:30. I have a reading update. I have reached the 1/3 mark of Midnight is the Darkest Hour. The book is still very much in like setup mode, so we are still getting to know the town. It's a small southern town in Louisiana. We're getting to know like the main characters. We have Ruth and Everett. They're the 2 main characters, but also being introduced to like a number of characters from the town, both past and present, because there are dual timelines. So we have like present day, and then we have like chapters from when Ruth was 17 and 18 years old, and possibly older. Yeah, I think I just saw one that said like 19. So her when she was younger. So we're getting a lot of background for her and Everett's friendship, kind of how it came about, things like that. And I don't know what to think as of yet. I'm decently interested. It's fine. I'm not having any trouble reading it. It reads fairly quickly. I did appreciate she does put content warnings like right there at the start of the book. I don't know if The Last Housewife did that as well, but I know that she had like content warnings on her website for that one. So this one's right in there. But yeah, I am not really sure where it's going. So I'm intrigued. I'm curious to see how things are going to play out. The chapter that I stopped on, which is chapter 16, is another now chapter. So yeah, that's kind of my update. I don't really have much of one. I feel like not a whole lot has been answered as of yet, but basically the premise of this is that they find a skull in the swamp of this small town, and both Ruth and Everett are now setting out to try to discover how that person was killed, or like what the motivation was, that kind of stuff. So that's all I've got for you, but it's going well so far. I'm liking it decently well, and I will continue to read on this tomorrow, hopefully with the goal to finish on Wednesday, as I already mentioned. For the rest of this evening, I am not really sure what I'll get up to. I am trying to go back and finish A Universe of Wishes, which is an anthology that I started reading back in July, I think, and then put on hold. I did listen to a story yesterday, so I'm going to listen to another story today because I would like to get this done this month. I have like 6 stories left or something like that. So I'm not going to really talk about that in that, but I did want to mention that I have gone back and picked that one back up from the library to attempt to finish. I don't love it. It was okay. So maybe the second half will be better. But anyway, I'll give you like a final rating if I finish it in time for this vlog. But otherwise, it'll be in my wrap up. So that's enough of that. I'm going to sign off for this evening. I'm not sure what all I'm going to get up to, but I don't have any more plans to read on this until tomorrow. So I will come back and chat with you once I have another update. Hopefully it will continue in the same vein it's going, because I do like it decently well. And perhaps I will get another 4 or even 5 star. So I will talk with you tomorrow. Hello all. Happy Tuesday. Yes, happy Tuesday. It's 6 p.m., but I have a reading update because I was working on the next third of Midnight is the Darkest Hour, and I just kind of wanted to catch you up on what I was up to today. So my mom and I decided to do a little bit of shopping today. I went shopping yesterday and had popped by Target and Michael's, and then she decided she wanted to check those things out as well, so we went back today and then had lunch, etc. We spent a few hours shopping. So I was doing that. Once I got home, I did dive back into this. I am currently on chapter 31, which is page 238. So here's where we are. And then I will finish this tomorrow with the final third. I am liking this quite a bit, actually. It's got like really nice vibes and a decent sense of like danger and mystery. I do have a theory. There was just kind of like a bombshell, for lack of a better word, dropped at the very end of the chapter that I just finished, which was chapter 30, which I think is going to set up like the remainder of the book. Our main character, Ruth, also seems to have like some kind of secret that she hasn't really shared. Hold on, let me adjust the camera. There, I think that's better. So Ruth, the main character, is definitely like carrying around some kind of secret that she hasn't revealed yet. It's been referenced a couple of times in the last few chapters, so I'm looking forward to that coming out and seeing what it is that makes her think she doesn't deserve to leave this like small town that she absolutely hates, and why she's turned down Everett's like request for her to leave with him, because it's very clear how she feels about him and how he feels about her, etc. So yeah, I would like the backstory of that. There's also some stuff about Everett that I would like to have answered, and I'm pretty sure, obviously, since we have 1/3 of the book left, that is going to come out here pretty quickly. So this book is actually like 355 pages long, because included in the back of it is the first 2 chapters of In My Dreams I Hold a Knife. And then one thing I do like about Ashley Winstead is with her books about like darker content, she always does this like Q&A thing at the end, which I enjoy reading. So like she always has like a conversation with the author. So I don't know where these questions come from and how she decides to answer them, but I do appreciate that she does that. And I feel like that gives a little bit of more information like regarding like why she wrote the book, what her goals were, what inspired her to write a story of this nature, etc. So yeah, going well so far. I'm thinking it's probably going to be like a 4-star, like the other 2 that I have read by her, which is not bad. Obviously, I would love a 5-star, but 4 stars not bad, and I'm enjoying it. So I will chat with you tomorrow once this one is completely finished and give you full thoughts. I did not listen to any more of The Forgotten Garden on audio, but I did do another story in A Universe of Wishes. So I need to listen to another one of those tonight, and then I will have like checked off what I wanted to read today, minus The Forgotten Garden. That one I'm okay with like carrying over if I have to, but obviously getting it listened to this week is still the goal. So I'm just gonna have to play it by ear, because reading physically obviously means that I can't do multiple things at once, but this one does not have an audiobook. So had to read this one physically, but I'm enjoying it, no complaints, and I'm looking forward to seeing how it ends. So I will come back with you tomorrow once I have an update to share. Hello all, happy Wednesday. It's 4 o'clock. I've been doing quite a few things today. I ran a couple errands, had to pick up a prescription, popped by the library to grab my books that had come in and drop some books off. Then my mom and I went over to the house that my brother is renovating so that I could like take a look around, and I just filmed a video. So it's been a bit of a busy day, but now I am going to sit down and finish reading Midnight is the Darkest Hour by Ashley Winstead. Once that's done, I will come back and chat with you, let you know my full thoughts. I'm hoping that the book continues the way it has been, because I've really been enjoying it so far. So that's enough talking. Let me get to reading, and I will see you in a bit. Hello all, happy Thursday, happy Thanksgiving to those who celebrate. I finished reading Midnight is the Darkest Hour last night, and I'm going to give it 4 stars. I had a really good time with this. I can see why people wouldn't like it. There are a lot of references to Twilight in here, because Twilight is like a very formative book for the main character. The characters also read a little bit young, and the reason I think that is the case is that Ruth, the main POV character, is very sheltered in her life. Like, she is never allowed to leave this very small town, and she doesn't have a lot of life experience. So I think that she was meant to read that way. A lot of people are calling it bad Twilight fan fiction, because I was like looking through some reviews, and I get that, but I liked this. I had a really good time with it. I felt like there were enough twists and turns that it kept me engaged. I found the writing really compelling. There was a nice sense of atmosphere. There is an ambiguous ending, so keep that in mind. For me, it was fine, but I had a good time with this. 4 stars. This one's done. Now I am going to be working on the other book that I wanted to finish in this vlog, which is this one right here, A Gathering of Shadows by V.E. Schwab. This is the second book in her Shades of Magic trilogy. I read the first book a couple months ago. I did like a whole vlog on it because I was annotating it, so I'll link that up above if you'd like to check that out. But I'm going to give myself 4 days to finish this one, so I have marked out my first stopping point for today, which is page 129, and then I'll do about that amount for the next 4 days and have this finished on Sunday. I don't remember a ton about the first book, which is funny because I've read it twice. But I know we're following Kel. Kel is, I believe, an Antari. I think that's what they're called. He has like magical powers. He can travel between worlds. He comes into possession of this stone, which has its own like magical powers, and the stone like causes a whole bunch of trouble and like causes things to happen like within the worlds that Kel can travel in between. He also meets a girl named Delilah. They've got like a semi-romance thing-ish going. And the second book picks up, I think, like directly after the first book, where something kind of big went down at the end of that first book. And that's all I've got for you. Like, I truly cannot remember a lot of details just off the top of my head about the first book. And I read it twice. And I liked it both times. So hopefully there will be some kind of recap here, because I'm a little fuzzy on some details. Like, I remember like the big things, I think, but yeah, I'm a little fuzzy. So hopefully there will be like a recap. But I am looking forward to reading this. This is a series on my 10 series to finish in 2023. So I'm going to be reading the third book in December, closer together hopefully, so I don't forget what happens in this one. And I'm looking forward to it. I also read quite a bit more of The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. I'm on part 2 of that one, and I'm like a third of the way through. It's quite chunky, reads a little bit slower. I am listening to it on audio, but I'm having a good time with that. It's kind of like a mystery as well. So this is what I'm going to be focusing on in this vlog that I will talk to you about. So once I get to this point in the book, I will come chat with you, give you some initial thoughts. And I'm not sure what else I'm going to get up to today. It is Thanksgiving, so I'll play everything by ear. But this is the goal, so I will see you when I have thoughts and can share them with you. Hey y'all, happy Saturday. I did not do any like speaking to the camera yesterday. I was not feeling the greatest. I'm dealing with a cold. I'm sure you can hear it in my voice. So I just kind of took it easy. I did, as you saw, put together my new TBR cart, and I put on it all of the books that so far are things that I'm wanting to read in the new year, so different projects, because I'm playing around with a few different ones that I'm wanting to do next year. And then by putting them on the cart, it gave me more room on my shelves to like get rid of some of the books that had been piling up around the place. So I did that. I also did read more of whatever the heck that book is called. A Gathering of Shadows. I don't know why I can't remember that, but I always just want to call it A Darker Shade of Magic, which is the first book. A Gathering of Shadows. So I am at like 50% on that book, so I did get to the halfway point. I'm going to read to the 3/4 mark today, but this morning I was listening to more of The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. I am almost halfway through with this. I am on page 253, and this one is very chunky. So it is taking a while, and I did not listen to this like at all yesterday. So I wanted to give that a little bit of a listen, and then I did kind of plan out 50 more pages to listen to tomorrow. And then when I am at work, I actually have an easier time listening to audiobooks because I can put in my headphones during my plan time and my lunch. So I'm able to get a little bit more read during the day aside from just like the hour or so that it takes me to get ready in the morning. So this will be done by the end of the month, just not in this vlog. So yeah, you can tune into my wrap up to hear my full thoughts on it. I'm enjoying it so far. I'm not really sure where it's going. I still feel like there is some setup going on. We have multiple timelines, multiple POVs, so there's just a lot going on. So that's what I was listening to. I also have this planner that I picked up from Target like a couple years ago. It is an undated planner. So I just went ahead and like filled in the dates for January because I'm going to use this for like YouTube planning next year. So that's kind of what I was poking around at. And I also was poking around with videos that I want to post in December. So that's what I was doing while I was listening to the audiobook. As far as A Gathering of Shadows goes, and yes, I literally did just have to look at the title again. I just can't remember the title. I am intrigued. Now, there was a short story set in this universe that I read in A Universe of Wishes back in like July. And I think it's called A Royal Affair, if I'm remembering correctly. It is like a prequel to the Shades of Magic books, and it's focused on Rye, who is Kel's brother. Rye is the prince, and Kel is his brother, also technically a prince, but not because he's also an Antari. There's like a whole lot of stuff going on there. But Rye had an affair with a guy named Alucard Emery, who is now in this second book. So it was kind of interesting to have read that prequel before reading the book. I think it would have worked maybe a little bit better if I'd read it after, but it's fine. So I'm curious to like see more of that, to see what comes of that. I'm hoping that they will get a little bit more of a happy ending because the prequel novella was not a happy ending. So that's about all I've got for you. To be honest, I am not like super engaged with the book at this point. There are some interesting things happening, but I feel like it's reading a little bit slow. So I've been listening to it on audio so that I can like multitask, but I'm going to give it a go and try to just read it physically for the pages for today, see if maybe that helps a little bit with my interest, but so far I'm not liking it as much as the first one, but I think we are getting into some of like the more exciting elements of this book, so I'm gonna cross my fingers that that's the case. But anyway, that's a little reading update. Today is Saturday, my penultimate day of Thanksgiving break, so I'm just gonna kind of hang out at home, do that reading, and I'll see what else I get up to. I do want to finish planning out my December videos just to get them all laid out so I know what I need to film when. And I'm also going to do like a little Vlogmas thing this year, but mine is going to be from Christmas through New Year's Day. So I'm not going to do it the full month of December. I just cannot possibly film every day. So yeah, you can stay tuned for that. That's kind of what I'm planning out right now. But I'm going to go ahead and stop talking. I'm going to finish my coffee and finish planning out December's videos, and then I'll dive back in to A Gathering of Shadows. I didn't have to look it up this time, and I will come back and chat with you once I have a reading update. Hello all, happy Sunday. I have a reading update. So I did listen to about 50 more pages of The Forgotten Garden by Kate Morton. I am enjoying this, but I think there's too many points of views and too many time jumps. So it makes it a little confusing to read. I am listening to this on audio. I don't think that's the problem, but I just feel like we're doing too much jumping around. So the story is not coherent enough for me right now. I am like 55% of the way through. So I'm hoping that this latter half will provide some answers to the questions that you've been given in this first half. I have some guesses as to some of what went down. So I'll see, obviously, as I finish, if those are actually true or not. I am not going to finish this in this vlog. I already mentioned that, but I will finish it before the end of the month. So I'm just hoping that I will really enjoy this one, because right now I'm kind of like thinking it's like a 3-star. So obviously there's still a half of the book left. That could change. So that's a little update on that one. I also did more reading on A Gathering of Shadows yesterday, and I've been reading it a bit more today. So I am currently on page 445. And so that means there's like 60-ish pages left. So I've got just, you know, right here. I'm going to go ahead and knock out the rest of this. I think this suffers from the same problem that I just said this one suffers from. There's too many points of view. Like, I felt like the first book was better because you really only had 3 points of view. You had Holland's point of view so that you could kind of follow along with what was going on in White London. You had Kel's point of view, who is like the main character, and then you had some of Lila's point of view, so 3. There are like 5 or 6 points of view already in this book, and it's just a lot. I also just feel like this is slow. Like, slower than the first book. So I gave the first book 4 stars, and as it stands right now, I don't think this one's going to get higher than a 3, just because I feel like some of this has just been drug out like a lot longer than it needed to. I think this book could have been condensed a little bit, and it's just not my favorite right now. Now, we are gearing up for a pretty big showdown. The last section is called Catastrophe, so obviously something big is going to go down to set up the 3rd book, but I really thought I would love this one because I liked the first one so much, but yeah, it's not my favorite. It's been a bit of a slog. Thank goodness I've had the audio, because I've definitely needed to do some multitasking, but that's kind of my thought on this. So this is definitely a disappointment as of right now. This one kind of is as well. So thank goodness for Midnight is the Darkest Hour, because I really did enjoy that one. Maybe the ending will save this one and I'll bump it up to like a 3.5. I don't know. But they're not my favorite right now. This morning I did a few things. I cleaned the bathroom because that needed to be done. And I cleaned my little fur baby's sand pit out because he likes to like eat and stuff like that. So there were shells and things like that all over in it. So I gave him some new sand. And then I've just been reading and watching a little bit of YouTube. I follow James Turner on YouTube. He does a Let's Play with like The Sims 4 that I find a lot of fun. And he posted a new episode today. So that's what I watched. And now I'm going to dive back into this, tackle this. I will come back and chat with you with full thoughts once it's done. I have heard it ends on like a cliffhanger, so I'm already like anticipating that. But yeah. This has definitely been a disappointment. There are so many people who like rave about this series as a whole, and I'm just not feeling it with this book. So, yeah, that's about all I've got to say. I will come back and chat with you again, probably in an hour, give or take, with final thoughts on this one, final rating, etc. And then I'm going to close out this vlog. So, I will see you in a bit.
2 hours later.
Hello all, I did finish A Gathering of Shadows, and ultimately my feelings are still the same as they were when I spoke to you before the last chunk. I still think this is a 3-star book. I just didn't like the pacing. I felt like it was too long, and I just didn't like this one as much as the first one. In the first book, something happens at the end of the book, and Cal is somewhat responsible for what goes down in that book. And I felt like in this entire book, he's just being punished. And he even says at one point, why am I the only one in this world to be held accountable for my actions? And I felt like that just like summed up my feelings on him, on the royal family, on the blatant mistreatment of Kel compared to Rye. And in the first book, you find out that they are being raised as brothers. So supposedly Kel is also a prince, also supposed to be treated the same as Rye, but it is very clear that he's not, and that is particularly obvious in this book. So I have some really not great feelings for the king and queen in this book. Rye, to some extent as well, really uses his relationship with Kel to like his own advantage, and there's just a lot going on here that basically like made my heart hurt for Kel throughout the entire book. That's not why I'm giving it 3 stars. I just truly think the pacing was not great in this one, and it felt like it took too long to get to the point, and there were too many points of views. So for that, I'm giving it 3 stars. As I said, I probably was. The last portion of this did read much faster than the rest, but this is a 509-page book, and I felt like I was just slogging through like a 1,000-page book. Like it honestly felt like it was like double its size. So that doesn't bode well for the third one, because the third one is even longer. So let's hope the pacing is better. But yeah, this just wasn't my favorite. A few things I did enjoy. I liked being introduced to Alucard Emery, who has like a former relationship with Rye and his own kind of backstory. I'm hoping that we'll get to learn a little bit more about him. I think he plays a little bit more of a role in the third book. So he is one that I am happy to like have been introduced to, but I just felt like there was too much going on in here. Some stuff should have been cut out, and it just wasn't my favorite. And that's all I really have to say about it. So that's kind of a bummer way to end this vlog. But there's not much else I can say. So this one is done. I will be finishing the series in December. I'm going to hope that it reads faster. So yeah, 2 books completely read in this vlog. One that I am halfway through with The Forgotten Garden. And I also did make a little bit more progress with some of the short stories in A Universe of Wishes. So I'm on pace to finish that one before the end of the month as well. And that's about all I have for you. So when this video goes up, later in the week that this one goes up will be my reading recap. So if you want to see full thoughts on this one and also A Universe of Wishes, tune into the recap. It's going to go up Thursday. This vlog's going up Sunday. So yeah, other than that, I really don't have a whole lot more to say. I hope you enjoyed coming along with me on my Thanksgiving break. If you did, please leave me a thumbs up. Consider subscribing to my channel if you would like to see more from me. And I'll see you in my next one. Bye, everyone.